So basically they had 2 5s. It wasn't really that great.
Oh yeah, honestly, I like this combo. It's just the fact that you OG, Coddle, Ember, now you kind of assume that should be your side lane, right? Like, you normally want to pair them together. I think Axe Phoenix should have a perfectly fine time here. So Nigma actually might be able to play out a 1 lane in this game.
Oh, so the new style of Ember does seem to suit OG a lot better, and watching Sumail just kind of reminds me of watching Ana, where you go this physical damage build, and OG always gives you some sort of assistance. So previously, you know, when Mag was meta, they would just empower him, let him go nuts. Now you've got the Coddle for double slight, double chains at all times, so should have a pretty good time as long as they survive the lane.
But in that last game, it felt like Seb was the real position 1.
Oh yeah,
in a way.
he was for sure.
He was
Right?
top
Like,
network.
Yeah.
Because of the network and the way they played, and I like that Sumail is more involved. I really like that a lot, because the last few series that I watched from OG, you never really felt his impact way too much. He was on his own island, farming away, getting that E-Blade Lincolns on Morphling, and then never really doing a lot. But
You would feel it when he died by himself at the enemy jungle, but this game was more
I
of a
don't want to
positive
mention that, perhaps.
Keeping it PMA today.
yeah, PMA, that's it.
Gotcha. So once again, it's is it Nigma that's going to have last pick? It is. So I assume they're either taking Radiant or choosing second pick. We'll try and get that info. But it's once again going to most likely be not mind control now, assuming this is an Axe 3. Could always be a curl here. Really, you never know, but can assume it's MCs.
I feel like in terms of draft though, I think OG normally would want to take first pick if they had choice. I think first pick for them just controls the draft because their flexibility and how that they want to react. And I don't think they never really rely on that gotcha last pick. So I'm going to be assuming that OG's been taking that away most of the games.
Interesting that they ban out the Meepo. They don't want to deal with that. Such an early ban.
Grimstroke, okay. Nice. Yep, Nigma pretty much look at their first draft and go, oh my god, what did we do? And then now they've really turned it around, so... Grimstroke's always very good against Ember, of course, Soulbind, Phantom Embrace, and I like the fact that, you see the Coddle, but it's kind of the same issue, right? There's so many ways in which Nigma can take these constant fights at you. Outside of maybe Egg, it's going to be scary to play this Coddle, unless you have, obviously, 3 more picks to cover it, but...
They did show both of their supports right now, so it gives you some flex when picking Sep 0, right? You can just pick it right away, even.
I don't know if you feel these are 2 of the best supports in Dota right now, and already I will say Nigma fixing what I'd say was their key flaw in the previous draft, which is they have team fight galore now, and more importantly, they have answers to BKBs and real spell damage. The problem in the previous game is it's effectively just MC, whose game was a bit slow, and then you verse TA. So yeah, you've got a lot of raw physical damage, but it allowed OG to just go for full defensive items, and that's a bit weird.
Mirana, I've seen a couple of players, which obviously in this tournament that picked it. The raw attack speed is really good from the Mirana, so you actually have a way of dealing with the egg, right? That's pretty good. Even if you're position 4 Mirana, you still have that leap that will grant you attack speed, and then you'll be able to solo the egg at almost any given point of the game.
Could also be Sox's hero. It's possible. You have a really nice combination with the chains for arrows. And I love that Nigma just confidently, immediately Miracle Jug. They now have, I'd say, the makings of more of what we see from them when they're successful, which is Miracle on a carry that's got great matchups already. You have excellent team fight, and Weeha gets to last pick his mid matchup.
Yeah.
What do you want more?
Exactly that. I like the idea of the Mirana pick here, though, is like you mentioned, it could be the 4, could be the mid from what Lizard said. So now it's like they can actually decide where it's going to go. And okay, they go Centaur. That's actually a pretty strong lane. If it is the position 4 Mirana, Centaur naturally wants to have that person chipping behind him. So it will be a very scary lane if they do that. And now they have pretty much 2 very standard, solid side lanes.
Is it, though, into Grimstroke Jug? Because this is the other reason. This is much more of a, not a war of attrition in this top lane by Nigma, but rather just ink, swell, and go, no?
Yeah, that combo is definitely very scary. You have Grimstroke plus the...
It is, but it's a very cooldown-based combo, though, right? Like Juggernaut Spin, level 1, it's cool, but it's like a 40-second cooldown or something, right? So if you have that constant chip from minute 1 on Mirana, you might not get to that stage unless there's some random first blood situation. Jug gets a little bit of advantage. I think that overall time, OG can exist in lane the entire time, whilst Jug might have to play off of his...
By the way, Jug got buffed in this patch a little bit. Did you see the Omni Slash change?
No.
So basically Omni Slash waits a little bit longer before stopping. So if someone is invis and you pop that dust, I guess the Omni Slash will continue, right? Even if you didn't see him during the...
What's the Okay, I was just trying to think of like PA as well. How long's Blur? So you might actually be able to
something like a PA comes to your mind, but PA I believe is a bit longer. It's still a bit longer.
Interesting. Well, last picks upcoming. Nigma do ban out the Invoker. I think I have a very prescient ban in this case, especially considering mid one's hero pool might be a little different now that he's on an offlane role. I haven't seen him branch out too much in the games that he's played. And his Invoker, even though the lane was rough, but I actually would have considered, I thought it was going to go much worse. It was like, we are just going to run away with this.
It was great. He was like 6 CS behind Viha? I mean, he was fine. He was holding his lane very well versus a TA. They go with the Venge. All right, this is some...
Smarana mid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Had to think about the other heroes they had there, but yeah, most likely. Unless Venge no mid. Trying to go with the Venge mid 2 days in a row.
It fits into the OG concept, right? They play around Ember as their single core in a lot of games, and now you've got multiple methods of buffing them up. You've the Venge Aura, which just plus damage, minus armor. I'm sure Sumail's going to go for a Deso again. So it's a lot of emphasis in Sumail's game. He's going to have to play pretty flawlessly for them to take this one.
My fear is right now, Nigma has kind of the same issue, where OG has outdrafted him in the fact that in a team fight, sure you have the big spells, but outside of Axe Call, I press Stampede, I've reset my fight, I then turn back around and run at you, and then what do you do? Where's your stuns? Like, they're so reliant on mind control, being that fully, like that, in all their team fight pretty much. Like, I'm sure you have Soulbind, but it's...
Suraction Flax will hate me for this.
Egg.
But do they just win Ranger here? Do you go back for it? The old faithful, old reliable?
Old Viha Wind Ranger.
Maybe. It does look okay, kinda, but I still feel like you fall flat on damage because Centaur goes Crimson, you have the Venge swap the entire game, Mirana has leaps. Like, Weeha likes playing that hero when he always has kill potential and can just be super aggressive in your face, and I think this game he might be a little bit hesitant because pretty much every single hero in OG doesn't care about Windrunner. Swap, Crimson, Stampede, Leap, Blinding Light, Remnant.
Unfortunately, I think you make the same arguments about TA and...
Just go with their stable pick, Necro again. Alright. There's not a lot of damage versus that Necro on the side of OG.
They've kind of done that thing though, where they started strong. Axe Phoenix like, damn, this is nice. And then they've gone, we're good now. We've got the team fight.
No, I like this from Nigma, actually. I like the Necro pick here as well. I think it's pretty solid because it forces most likely the Ember to go for that vessel that you need early on. If you remember, it's not only about the hero on hero matchups, it's about the itemization from different heroes and how they like to itemize right now. You know, mentioned Ember and how he likes to be that core. Like the one core, but that's when he goes crit Deso. When he goes for Vessel, he can't do that.
But he's covered from the Venge in this scenario, I feel. So like, if he didn't have the Venge, then it's going to be, okay, maybe Vessel, he might fall flat. But like, you have this wave of terror coming in the entire time. He doesn't really need that. Minus armor already ticked. So I think right now, Nigma might have the same issue where Jug needs to still farm up a little bit. Necro is quite slow. Where's their damage outside of maybe an early egg, but you got the Mirana, so I think OG just going to run this game over again.
I like Nigma's draft actually a lot more. I think Necro's game is easier here. He is covered by the egg, by the axe. You have the Sun Ray to work with. I think it's going to be very important for OG to decide who's buying that vessel. I don't believe that Vengeful is enough for Ember to just pop off and have as much damage as with Deso crit early on.
We've got a couple extra minutes because we need to remake the lobby real fast for reconnects, but would you guys say that it's again OG that have the emphasis on needing to play more aggressive early, and if
they have to play constantly, maybe not early but constantly, bait out that egg, then fight when it's off, play around their cooldowns, try and fight as much as possible.
But I think as well, like, think about, sure, let's say the early aggression kind of peters out and they go to like the mid-late game scenario. Nigma, when they move high ground, Juggernaut's the only one that wants to hit towers, right? Let's say he spins up high ground. Now you have a Venge swap taking him all the way deep into base. I think it's pretty hard for Nigma unless they take those early critical fights, they own a part of the map, they're going to fall flat potentially. I think OG... Yeah.
And that's a really good point. I agree with him. They have multiple ways of just displacing Team Nigma the way they want to.
I agree, but I think you guys are perhaps underestimating the value of sustain in this game, where there's literally no healing
the
on the side of OG.
The Necro,
the healing ward, and while I agree with you, I feel like OG's style of play is a lot more exposed when Nigma actually have the opportunity to reset as well. And with the team fight advantage, and specifically mind controls Axe, I feel like if there's somebody who's going to win the game for them, it's going to be him.
When you talk about sustain, though, I think you can cover that potentially with the itemization that comes out. You have this Centaur happily wants to buy auras, and the fact that they have defensive mechanics in their draft, right?
It's not your Sunray Necro healing ward, though. That's
sure,
the thing.
but then
the sustain is good, but there's definitely one team that has more of it, right?
And then to flip side to that, though, you buy the Vessel, where's the cleanse? Using Carl's words here, ooh, big boy now. Where's the cleanse from Nigma to prevent the Vessel mitigating all that hill, right?
Yeah.
Who's buying the Vessel? That's the question.
I still think Ember just buys it. He just buys a little casual Vessel, mate.
Then Mirana really has to do all the heavy lifting when it comes to the damage output early on, which definitely is possible. We've seen Wish play in OG with that Mirana. He did really well. Had one of the highest damage outputs on Mirana recently, but yeah. I still think the Vessel on the Ember might be really bad for OG overall.
I'm very 50-50, right? I have this small belief in the Venge, because I remember back in the day, good old Chaos times, we had like Venge Ember lanes where it was just like we just dominate the lane. Obviously they're not doing this game, but it's the fact that the same concept, you get into those mid-game fights and you feel like you don't need that extra second item because you have the Venge being that natural enabler.
Hey, and I don't want to just hear what you guys have to say about this, remember. No, I'm not throwing to the casters. I want to talk to Twitch chat, because if you guys have your own predictions, maybe you think OG's going to win, let me get a Sindlul in chat. Maybe you think Nigma's going to win, well, you can also put a Sindlul in chat as well, and you'll know what it is that you actually think about it. We should get hashtags for that, though, or some sort of chat command. I'm always curious to see what the community thinks and whether they'd be better than we would be at predicting.
You can just set up a poll in the Twitch chat at the start of a game and just see. They can vote.
Hit them with the straw poll, yeah. We're still waiting on the lobby, guys. We'll get that underway as soon as we can. But, you know, look at this draft. Think about this draft. It's always a good time.
It's the best thing about a draft is when you just think about the 5-on-5, right? You know, and it contain little, open field, no high ground, no low ground, just fight. That's how you kind of want to see it.
I will say that's how I think you can evaluate a lot of games nowadays. It's just at some point assume they're going to meet at a tower, meet at an objective like Roche, and if you see like one squad winning like every single fight, there's a good chance they'll probably take the game. And my big concern with OG's lineup here is that it's similar to what you guys were saying before, where they have their cooldown machines, I think is how Cinderin put it, but they don't have that get out of jail free card of the Weaver eggs, and they don't have that uncounterable mechanic that's just so strong, like the rupture double or the double. I
just opened Vengeful because I know that she's been changed a couple of times, reverse, right? So she gives you the range now and the attributes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So it's not really your damage buff that she used to give, besides the Wave of Terror.
Yeah, I focus more on the Wave of Terror side of it rather than the aura part. But
wait, it gives you damage too, though, right? Or is it no? Because Luna gives it max attribute.
Primary attribute bonus is what it gives, and range attack range bonus.
So it's not bonus damage. Yeah. It just gives you attribute.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, attributes are fine as well, but it's not.
It's actually an egg counter now. You get the.
I mean, it is for the Mirana, right? It's a little bit easier to hit the egg. That's definitely true.
I believe we've beaten our analysts to death. I'd like to hear from our wonderful casting duo, Toby and Cinderin. Can we get your thoughts on the game?
Do you want to give your thoughts, Sind?
Yeah, are you pulling a Suns fan on me or what? Like, hey, throwing to them. Hey, you go first. No, you go first.
I'm sorry. I can never live up to Suns fan. I like the Chicago Bulls too much.
I honestly think the point I want to look at the most about this is what T-Governor brought up earlier, is what does Nigma do when OG just disengaged their combo, right? I think in this game, you can't sacrifice mind control. I don't think it's going to work. He needs to have a good game on Axe so that he can initiate and start fights on your terms, because it's literally the only catch you have. You could consider Soulbind a little bit of a catch to an extent with the slow. When you just stampede and run away, and they have Swap, they have mobile heroes in Ember and Mirana, it's not easy. Like, I'm worried that Nigma kind of fall in the same trap as last game, where they need to use their big ultis to fight, they don't get big kills, and then OG just run at them constantly. And yeah, this time they have the Coddle, but the main difference for me is he's playing with Ember, who becomes, a zero downtime hero with Coddle. He's just going at people nonstop, so the tempo again in their favor.
We should also flag that just for everyone at home who've only just jumped in, because the analysts have no idea about this. Samela's playing the Ember up on top lane, and mid one's playing the Vengeful Spirit mid.
Classic mid-Venge.
Yes. As all great things get played. That's a lot of high movement speed and extra slow. Samel looking for the extra distance to get back home safely.
Good
He'll lose a lot of life and have to probably burn. No, he just burns the salve straight
this
up.
This lane is really strong. That's a good thing for Nigma in the start of this game. Axe Phoenix into Ember is really good. You have so much damage over time. If Ember can't find the CS, he keeps taking damage from the Battle Hunger, and it's hard to find CS when you're Fire Spirited. So.
OG is just
synergy.
full contesting for bounty runes. Arrow's going to fly forward. Actually connects on GH. Samael combining with the Illuminate Blast from No-Top. They have the damage. Samael will spill first blood after being the one dropped to 100 HP. He ends up getting the first blood. And they did all that for the bounty runes.
Oh, it's the perfect hero for them to get it on. Just when we say this is going to be a difficult lane for him, he gets the free... What's that, 6, 7 CS? Probably 7 CS nowadays, actually. I just got in his bank account. So he's going to send out some regen. Or actually just a Wraith Band for now, huh? That doesn't have too much to give in terms of HP, but I guess No-Tail will take care of him. Sending out extra Salvias, 4 tangos. Going to push the lane here.
How much burn damage can you get into a
when
Phoenix?
You do this in a pro game, people say well played. And when you do it in a pub game, they're like, stop taking my farm, fucking coddle. What are you doing? You know?
You're pushing my lane. Things are not in equilibrium.
You know, the classic, understand the difference. These players do it for a reason. This is not the default play you do every game.
What's the reason though, man? What's the reason here?
So you're playing against a Phoenix Axe who can pressure you really hard, right? So the way you play around pressure is you force them back into their tower. If you push the wave like this, No-Tail gets access to pulling, and that way you can try to maximize on fire. Yeah, you might die anyway. It's good.
Yeah.
They're really strong. But it's the right thing that OG are doing. They could have done it without Samael dying, but I think pushing this lane is really good, even if Ember loses a bit of CS on it. You have to pressure them so they can't pressure you, and then you can go and pull. Wonder if No-Tail will pull it now. Looks like it is a possibility. But for now, just looking to bully as much as possible with their level 2 ramp up. But now, Nigma are also level 2. So. Nope, they're gonna go for it though. Good damage.
Yeah, really heavily on mind control. But GH still has the spirits. It's hard to get close enough to get the enough damage to finish the job.
Yeah.
Might also want to keep tabs on mid lane. I'm seeing Mirana looking for a perfect arrow line against Weeha. And, okay.
Yep. It was a perfect line. I will agree with that. It flew.
You can't, this isn't wanted. There's no Angelina Jolie to make arrows bend.
Oh man, imagine if you could bend arrows. Do you remember with like Pudge Hook when you could like curve it a little bit or whatever that was?
No, wait, what? Really? I don't remember that.
I mean, you didn't have a button for it, but I think it was either it was a bug or it was never there, or it was just like perceived that based on high ground terrain in Dota 1 that some cliffs, when you threw it, it would like bend a little bit because of the height difference of the terrain or something.
See, I remember Pudge Wars where you can get the hooks to bounce off walls. Now that was cool.
That would also be a thing. Maybe one of the 15 buffs that Pudge needs right now. That wouldn't be bad.
That would be so cool, just bouncing off walls. Kind of like Mars Spears connects, Pudge Hooks bounce at the same angle it comes in. I'd love to see that again. Obviously, it was never in competitive Dota that way.
Imagine if you got a hotkey on Mirana where you could like turn your arrow a little bit. Could like bend it in midair.
So now she's an airbender. All right.
Wouldn't that be something?
Mirana was always the avatar. I just keep going on top lane. I actually wanted to keep my eyes on some of the other lanes, but it just feels like top lane is just a never-ending fight, which is kind of crazy considering Axe is just refusing to go call. Level 3, got 2 points in counter helix, 1 point in battle hunger.
I wonder if he goes 2 in hunger on 4 or not. That's generally where the builds separate. Most Axes will go this build, almost every game. 0, 1, 2 is the standard. It gives the little bit of harass and the slow from battle hunger and the damage.
Cluckles. Stay safe.
Cluckles is fine.
Cluckles is not fine. There's an observer watching him and a Mirana.
Cluckles is not fine at all.
Yeah, we've got chicken.
Cluckles, what are you doing? Chicken dinner for Saksa? Very nice.
Game question mark. Samael? Yeah, that's pretty confident. And again, the salve doesn't get cancelled. So
yeah, Flame Guard
he's
activation.
fine. Yep.
Surprised Nigma GH didn't get an attack off there on the... on the dive. He must have attacked another creep by a mistake, because he definitely wants to hit Sumail there and not just...
That's a nice arrow in mid. Full 5 seconds. Mid 1 has no other stun, and all that niceness actually means Jack. Yeah, nothing comes.
They're really pressuring. This start is way better for Nigma than last game. Their lanes are going super well overall. Miracle has awesome farm, and he's on a higher impact hero this game. He just has a better game already than last game. Like the entirety of last game is worse than his first 5 minutes of this one. I think Jugger is a little bit of a wild card. Like maybe I've written them off a little too much on their inability to chase down once they have cooldowns, because Omnislash can obviously stay on top of them even during Stampede. So a farmed Juggernaut can get the job done in this game. And with this kind of a start on both mid and all 3 lanes, really, they've won all 3 lanes so far. Nigma this time around, very nice.
It does feel that way. So a lot of farm coming into Seb for the fact that he's been able to keep creep cutting.
Yep. Definitely holding his own. But yeah, Juggers, whenever the offlaner creep skips the safe lane carry,
mid 1. That's cool. I like that. The arrow flies in, mid 1 swaps into the stun underneath the tier 1 tower to actually claim the kill. That's got some style to it.
With 200 ping.
You could see mid 1 just standing there like, I'm not moving. I'm literally standing on one position for a very specific reason.
It might be a little bit of a giveaway when you think about it. Like,
yeah, wait, but it's not something you think about.
Pressure on Sumail once again. The Flame Guard will fade, I think, from 2 Fire Spirits currently.
I think OG want to fight, though. Mirana's rotating up.
Yeah.
And then again, the same thing can be said about mid 1. He's just grabbed a DD from the top river. So yeah, they really want to have a fight. Icarus dives up from GH. He's the man on the front lines. Mind Control is the one they would like to get. And GH, perfect stun control.
Ooh, can they
all
get
the damage they need. Can't get in range.
It's hard on Venge. 200
oh no,
damage.
Cluckles!
Cluckles, no. That was phase boots. Oh my.
Phase boots. That's more than Cluckles.
Big. Seb could... I mean, he's probably not going to face him in lane because of this right now, but that's when you think about the effective net worth of the heroes right now, Seb is doubling him up. His Jugger is missing 1,400 gold right now out of his 3.2k. Or 1,500, sorry. Phase got nerfed as well.
And now they're trying to flash farm up. Axe. Let's see how much you can contest. He's got call available. If he can actually pull Sumail back in, it would be huge, but there's a lot of damage coming in from mid 1. The arrow connects once again. OG tipping mind controls like, yeah, did you want any of that? Cool.
He got some experience. I don't know if he got any of the CS. I didn't notice the color of the gold coming up, but I mean, you got to do that, right? Like, don't tell me you wouldn't have done that if you were Axe. You have to try and go and contest some of that. And then, I mean, he got 4-man rotated on, right? That's it's not even that bad.
New TP towards the top. Kuro's trying to wait this out. There is a dire observer ward sitting behind the tower, and Kuro is almost about to walk through that. So many couriers flying out as well. And no one's going to die from the OG side. There's no one from Nigma that's able to pressure hard enough. And instead it's the Vengeful Spirit and the Mirana once again who are rotating towards the top lane. There's 4 heroes on the top. They're going nowhere near Weeha. And they're also not pressuring Miracle at all. I know you're right about like Seb getting a hell of a lot more farm. Oh no. Well, that's what you get for having a base courier.
Cluckles' cousin. Donkles.
Donkle? So, okay.
Why does GH have the default courier?
Budget.
Maybe it's just... Maybe it's a remnant of the time when you had to buy the courier, and GH has never done it in his life. It's always cool.
Maybe you got to win 2 TIs before you can have upgraded couriers.
Oh, well, why do his teammates have them then?
In that case, he lives by his own
rules. They missed the memo.
Yeah, definitely. It just happened in the transfer from Liquid to Nigma. Trying to go again up on top. Mind Control. Going to get the call out. They got extra hold on Sumail. The arrow will fly forward, not hitting its target. The 4 heroes from OG arriving on top lane. Hey, Mind Control. They want you. They choose you. But everyone else gets back out. Both the supports out to safety. This is such a heavy commitment every time from OG. Samel's actually gone all the way back to base, but don't worry, he'll remnant all the way back out once again.
Yeah, now he's level 6. This lane shifts so much. Axe can't reliably catch him. He has way more spell burst. Axe's only magic resist right now is a bracer and a raindrop. Doesn't have anything like a hood build up or something like that.
Long jump forward. Kuro able to get the silence off. GH is trying to keep Samel back, throws out the extra sprite, and you're seeing TPs arrive. Arrow flies forward. Kuro will dodge it. GH giving the extra life back over, but now he wants to try and turn that into damage. Samel, the primary target, clipped on the edge of the Sunray. No-Tail's TP out. Weeha will get the Reaper Scythe out, cancelling the TP of the Keeper of the Light. As Nigma say, like, okay, I guess we will play this game. Miracle, you can get both the bounty runes on bottom lane in the meantime, while Kuro dies to this stun combination. Swap from mid one, trying to get in range of GH. Won't get there.
I hope there's a bounty rune still. No.
Oh,
No rune.
There's a regen rune for Samel. That'll work.
Yeah, so they get the Caudal kill, but they used the Reaper to get it, and they didn't get the Reaper bonus, because we thought he had to Reaper to stop the TP, but Mind Control actually did have the call in time. So a little bit of a missed efficiency there, but not that big of a deal. The main thing is that Reaper is used for a 5.
Blink Dagger's up.
Not great.
Seb jumps in. He found Weeha with a hoof stomp. You still could go Shroud as well as the 6-1 charges, giving Weeha a lot of his life back. Not to mention GH, always there to be the mash unit. A quick little leash together. The follow-up slow, but there's nothing that combos with this.
Leash for what?
Oh, now Miracle has finally joined the fight. Running forward, is like, well, okay, stun me. Come at me, bro.
He will show up to defend his mid tower, but didn't have any interest in getting involved in the top shenanigans so far. Wonder if he could have. Like, before Samel was level 6, I think Miracle had the potential of making an aggressive move top that killed Samel and got the tower. But as soon as the remnants are up, Jugger doesn't really pose much of a threat to him anymore. So maybe a missed opportunity there, as they're trying to maximize, but
Miracle's back to farming. He's finished Mask of Madness, going for the Maelstrom. I actually remember, I think it was a Fnatic game I was watching, where the Juggernaut actually went for the Mask of Madness into an Aghanim Scepter, and actually used the what's it called? The Swift Slash, I think it's called.
Yeah.
As like just farming pattern increase. Yeah. It was quite effective.
Makes sense. Doesn't mean it's good though. But it might be good. I haven't been seeing or playing much Jugger as of late. It's not that popular of a hero. It does get played sometimes, but yeah. The Axe might have been initially a bit underrated by a lot of players. I remember when we had that mega patch with 15 or 20 new Ags, and everybody thought the IO Ags, I don't know how good it is. Like, it's probably okay. You get to TI and it just stomps. Nobody had expected it to be that good. So a lot of the time, it's kind of like, that's what's fascinating about Dota. You know, you read it, but you need to feel it. Like, you have this perception that, okay, it might be good, it might not. It's like probably all right. And then some things that seem all right are insane, and some things were like, holy fuck, this is so broken. And then it's like, turned out it wasn't that bad.
I think we might be dead. Post on forward, they're going to use Arrow, the Will-O-Wisp, and everything else you've got. And the TP comes in Miracle. You'll get the spin-off in time before the magic missile from mid one's able to connect, but now Stampede forward. One charge available. He needs to actually get it off to have enough life to even have a chance to Omni Slash.
You really wanted that Will-O-Wisp. I mean, he's fighting into Venge. He knows he can get swapped. Samel?
Yeah, he's just going to walk it off.
He has haste rune.
And he does. GH gets picked off in the meantime. Seb just jumps forward, triggers off the Hood of Defiance, got all the sustain in the world. And they find another target. Axe gonna call, but he's underneath the tier 1 tower, and Seb just trying to get in range for a hoof stomp. They have the Tinker Ward on the hillside, so they see everything, and Weeha will arrive. But hey, stun number 1, arrow number 2, and the stall bind on Samel and Seb. They just walk it off once again. There's just, again, no combination that works with this.
As soon as they ramp up the tempo like this, it just feels too easy right now. There needs to be something coming out from Nigma that allows them to take initiative, and I'm still looking at this Axe, just struggling. He needs stuff, and he doesn't have it.
At least we got the Ghost Shroud off, but now the Illuminator connects. And once again, deny the ability to even trigger the Magic Wand charges.
It's kind of like last game. It really is very similar. The laning stage went a bit better for Nigma, but now they're in trouble. gotta find a way to make something happen here.
Well, Mind Control gonna battle in the trees once again.
And dead.
There's so many setups for Soxa just to connect on this arrow every single time. So if the first connects, you're stunned until you're dead.
It seems like OG identified before this game even began what they needed to do, like what the threat is. The threat is Axe. We're gonna shut this guy down so he has no game, and then we're gonna run all around the map, just killing them nonstop. Like, you think about how many resources they've committed to just ruining Mind Control's game. They've quad ganked him 3 or 4 times now. They put very early 3-man ganks as well with the Mirana. Like, they have just completely ruined him. And they can do it because Seth can just skip in this game.
Under the Observer, under the Sentry, they get the hoof stomp over on Weeha with the Will-O-Wisp down. Another arrow control. Need to kill Necro before he can get the Ghost Shroud heal off. The silence will be there, and they actually find the kill. So, hey, we're back over to Mind Control. Let's continue exactly where they started. A swap up, Kuro now trapped in the middle of the team. He's able to get the Soul Bind, Blinding Light pushing him back. Another arrow. Soxa, he's actually able to connect on a target without any kind of setup this time around. So Miracle can't get involved. And even if he does, I still don't know what presence he's going to have. All that net worth, and what's the effect of it? You've now got a Javelin coming out in the Courier, I believe. Actually, no, he's got the Mithril Hammer now. I'll buy the Javelin next. They found a target. There's no Blink Dagger.
Get it,
how do you actually close the distance on this? Now mid one. Battle Hunger out. TP's coming in from Sumail. TP's... Oh, okay. Everyone's coming. OG, they got the call. But there's 5 heroes ready to try and fight. But Kuro already threw out the Phantom's Embrace. So no double silence available. The Blinding Light pushing away. So Seb couldn't get the hoof stop initiation that he was searching for. Miracle just wants to finish up Don't Tell over in the tree lines. The Phoenix Egg. That was well far back, but... Heavy commitment.
Okay.
We have a 5v5 under the tier 1 tower on bottom. Seb wants to be the tank of the front lines, but he's burning underneath the Sunray. GH doesn't have much more to give, and now maybe with the Omnislash, have you got some extra damage? He doesn't have the mana for it. Now he does. Miracle, the Omnislash will now come out. Seb is brought down, held in place just long enough by the Reaper's sight, but the bigger hero they want Sumail. They want to finish the job, but the arrow! Soxa connects in the back line. He'll work with mid once, and Miracle can't keep the chase going, and Sumail just walks it off. Nigma's just like a bad stitch to OG.
Yeah, they really needed this fight to go well after OG screwed up the initiation, like you pointed out, with the Caudal and Centaur kind of counterplaying each other. But even with that, OG still came out on top in the end here. See if they can get any extra kills.
They're trying to kill off Weeha by putting it on him mid one. Trapped for the moment, but now the Will-O-Wisp. Everyone comes back. Wee's low on life. The perfect Sleight of Fist searing chains from Sumail. He's been battling for the last minute and a half on probably 1/5 of his HP, but he doesn't care. Mind Control's got the dunk, and they're all playing around him on low life. He'll get the call and tried to go for the dunk, but there was never going to be joy there. Too much life for the Ember Spirit holding 1 charges.
Seems like OG really learned something from the series yesterday. They are playing super fast, super aggressive, and it's just working, both games. Seems like a very similar recipe, similar draft identity or logic. And if there's a team in the world that gets rolling when it gets rolling, it's this team. It doesn't matter what the stakes are. Biggest stage of TI. There's a very memorable game for me from last TI where they had Monkey King Ember Cores on tops, and they just ran over the enemy team. And that was actually against Kuro as well, Liquid at the time. This exact team.
Smoke up. No way to cut the distance. Observer and Sentry still doing his work. Kuro even plants the Observer and Sentry. It's like, okay, yeah, this is why they could see us this entire time. It doesn't stop Seb from staying on the high ground, looking for a Hoofstomp target. He wants Weeha. The Observer ward that's been planted is out of range of the Radiant Sentry.
Oh, they saw that.
Smoke will happen, but Mind Control very close. And now Arrow, stun combination from 100 to 0. He'll end up dropping down. But where's your follow-up? You go for your Inkswell, Miracle, near absolutely no one's. Now the stuns, OG, they realize they don't exist. In fact, they just go for their own. A Sleight of Fist searing chains both being connected with, Seb. Tried almost next level Miracle there, getting a blinding light and then hopefully into the hoof stop, but that won't happen. Soulbine's on the Ember Spirit, now the Omni Slash will connect out. They find the kill onto Sumail underneath the egg. OG, there's enough players up, they'll take care of that. Especially considering it's only a level 1 egg. We have no life to really be given, because with that Spirit Vessel on him, nothing can be granted. Another wave of terror, so much negative armor. And the swap back Miracle can't spin away to safety. Phase Boots can't get away fast enough either. Axe trying to get this call into the double ink swell, but there's no follow-up. All he's got is Kuro with him, and Kuro doesn't really give that much damage, especially when he's got no mana and everything on cooldown. This game really feels like it's an OG punch fest once again.
The tricky part now is it's very obvious and it's incredibly apparent in this game, right, that Axe can't find openings and he needs to do it for his team, but he is currently a Blink Dagger away from having Blink Dagger. Minute 20. He has 50 gold, 2 Phase Boots and 2... Or, well, not 2 Phase Boots. Wouldn't that be something? Phase Boots, 2 Bracers, nothing. So in this patch and in this meta right now, as Nigma, I don't really know what choices you have except... Try to fight them, hope you do it better. You're not gonna find 2k gold on X without losing the whole map. Like he can't just be like, okay guys, I need to farm, just chill. Anywhere you go to farm, the enemy will have aggressive vision because they've dominated you for 10 minutes and you're gonna get killed. So your only reliable way of getting gold is actually trying to find a fight that favors you. But it's just so hard. The enemy team has saves, escape, strong team fight, strong catch, and mind control might just be dead again.
Yep, they're going after it. Now, maybe you do get a double silence. Mind control will die to get the initiation off. Miracle's trying to get there in time to get... well, he's got no Omni Slash. They're running in for this fight, but I don't know exactly what fight they're thinking they're going to get. GH gets pushed away once again by the blinding light. Seb able to keep the chainstone going and finishes him with a double edge. While in mid lane, Weehard just isolated by Sumail in mid 1. To find their own kills, another side of Fist Searing Chains, and you know Sumail is really thinking about committing pretty heavily in with that Spirit.
They're getting trashed now. It's they're cornered. The only lane that Nigma really have any control over right now is bottom, but none of their heroes have gone there for an eternity, it seems, because they don't feel happy just having that little corner of the map as theirs. They need to try to get more space, but OG are not letting up ever in this game. After they got control of the Radiant left side, they haven't lost it again for 10 consecutive minutes. They've just been parked there, fighting them non-stop and not letting up. That's how you do it. That's map dominance 101 right there. Take control of an area. If you're stronger, you never give it back.
This is how your 5th position of OG can have more net worth than the 3 position of Nigma. It's brutal. And they're coming up for their own fight. One little golem looking to chase after Mirana. And one more leap. Down she goes, and the BTs are up from Seb. He jumps on the back of the warrior, the Hellbear Smasher. And with a Will-O-Wisp, they're all caught out once again. Axe being pushed back inside the Will-O-Wisp with side of Fist Searing Chains and a double damage rune from Sumail. All the damage in the world from Miracle. Can't even kill off mid 1. And that may be the game. You lose 4. Yes, VS to get killed off by the Reaper's Scythe. I know there's still tier 2 towers up, but these fights aren't going to change anytime soon.
Interesting to see the Venge Axe build, by the way, from mid 1. It's a very unusual build, but
is it also just because it's a stompy kind of build?
Possible. I don't know if you would have bought this if it was a closer game, but it's really cool to have that swap into fear, right? It's in the meta right now. I think it's better than it used to be.
Looking for the stuns and the spirits. That's not exactly what they were hoping for, probably. Buys a little bit of extra time. Now Necro arriving. Stampede from OG being used to not move back. In fact, being used to get more aggressive underneath the melee racks. Say goodbye to Weeha. Axe is doing the best he can. Mind Control can only run in and call. There's nothing more he can do. There's still no Omni Slash. He's trying to buy time for Miracle to get that final point of damage in towards Seb, but it won't happen. They're all 5 dead. GG is called. An OG keeping 35 kills in about 24 minutes. Classic OG.
That series was more one-sided than I thought it would be. Considering how much OG has struggled, they made it look so easy today.